always forget I have to click. Okay, so we are recording, and I'm going to mute you just because I think your phone keeps buzzing, and it's going to totally distract me. So, all right. So this week we're going to talk first off about selling at your parties, and then we're going to move into your specific questions and what you wanted help with. So we are going to talk about selling during your actual party, right? So last week we talked about bookings. Today we're going to talk about selling and how to actually do your party demonstration, your party presentation in a way that's going to maximize your profits, maximize your sales once you get into the shopping room, right? Make sense? So, so essentially what this is going to boil down to is you're going to sell most what it is that you talk about and what you show the most. So if you are showing, mostly like bath and beauty products and you only show, maybe one or two toys, mostly what you're going to sell is bath and beauty products, right? And just the adverse of that is true too. If you only focus a little bit on bath and beauty, and maybe some foreplay, and you focus mostly on toys, mostly what you're going to sell is toys. And that's actually kind of the balance that we want to have, is mostly showing the toys, because that's where you're going to make most of your money. Most people are coming to a Pure Romance party because it's the toy party. They're not coming to a lotions party. So, we really want to kind of, skew, I guess, our demonstration more towards like the bedroom accessories. But specifically, when you are showing items, you want to talk about and show the products that tend to be, the higher retail price. So a lot of consultants, what they'll say when they're doing their demonstration, and before they kind of get into the products, is they explain, I'm going to show you the best, the catalog has the rest. So we're going to talk about what the best products are and what you really want to go home with, and everything else that's below a certain price point that isn't as amazing quality, that doesn't have these amazing features, is in the catalog, and you can totally find that on your own. But my job as a consultant is to help you understand what the best products are that Pure Romance has to offer. All right, so that way, it kind of sets the standard. It kind of sets that expectation of the products we're going to look at today, the products that we're going to sample, are really the best products that Pure Romance has to offer, and don't you deserve the best, and don't you deserve to treat yourself to the best products that we have, right? Yes, of course. All right, so so what this means is that if you got a deluxe kit or a premium kit, you're pretty much set up really well with the products that they include in those kits. They already include, like the Encore and the main attraction. There's some really great high-end toys. They have a wider variety of products. But this is not to say that if you started with a standard kit, that you still can't have like a really successful, really awesome party presentation. Because I actually started off with a kit smaller than the standard kit. There used to be like another kit. It was the basic kit, and it was like $99 and had like 4 things in it. It was super small. So you can still do really well if you only have the standard kit. And this is where like the catalog is going to come in, and this is where where your ability to kind of, I guess, like set the tone and like set the scene and like sell them the experience. This is where that's going to come in handy. So I remember when we first, so I started with slumber parties, in case you didn't know that, which was the other company. And so Pure Romance bought us out in 2014. And so before we had even gotten to see the products or knew what kind of products they had or had a catalog or anything like that, one of the team leaders in this area, Heather Pillow, had like a team meeting at her house, and she had the catalogs, like the brand new catalogs that they had just come out with. And she took us through the catalog page by page, talking about all the products on every single page in the catalog that Pure Romance had. And by the end of it, I was ready to be like, all right, we just buy all the products, without having touched them, without having seen them, without having smelled them or tasted them, right? So even if you don't have a product on hand, you can still talk about it. You can still make references to it and still, really get people excited about it, because it's really going to be all about setting that scene and that experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm trying to think of like a specific example and like how you can kind of do it. Okay. So let's say you have the Afterglow, right? And that's the body shimmer, and it has the Truly Sexy Flirt fragrance, which is one of our exclusive scents. So say you only have that in that scent to show, you don't have the Truly Sexy perfume, which is $59 as opposed to $24, right? But you still want to make sure people know about it. You still want to kind of talk about it because it's a really nice product. It's a higher price point. So as you're showing the afterglow and you're letting them smell it, you can kind of let them know and be like, so if you're loving this scent, for my girls who are, really classy and just love a classic perfume, you don't want a body spray, you want something that's going to have that really classy kind of, scent. We do have a pheromone infused perfume, and we can talk about it more in the shopping room, but just so you guys know, right? So you're drawing their attention to it, you're letting them know, you're kind of demoing the scent because, they're smelling something else in that scent without actually having the product on hand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and it's really similar too for the toys, because a lot of times, so you'll notice that, because we have the product launch coming up, there's a lot of toys especially are getting discontinued. We're retiring them, getting rid of them. But a lot of times what they'll do is they'll bring it back in like a different color or just a slightly different design. It's essentially the exact same product. It's just got slightly different design. So, when, say for example, okay, so we had the G, actually we got rid of both of them now that I think about it. Okay, so we had a product called the GPS, and it was, it was a G-spot toy, and then we had the GPS 2.0. So I only had the GPS in my demo. I didn't have the GPS 2.0, and like GPS was $79 and 2.0 was $99, right? So I didn't have 2.0 in my demo, but when I would show the GPS, I would let them, and I should back up. The difference between the two is one was a vaginal toy, one was a dual action toy, right? They looked exactly the same. One had a clitoral stimulator on it. So when I would demo the GPS, I would let them know, like, hey, and then for my girls who love that dual action, stimulation, and who also, want to make sure they're getting a G-spot and a clitoral orgasm at the same time, we do have the GPS 2.0. It looks exactly like this. It has a clitoral stimulator on it. Boom, done. I just demoed a $99 toy without actually having it on hand. Make sense?
Yeah.
So so there are ways to kind of talk about products that you don't have on hand. If you have the standard kit, or you just haven't finished supplementing your demo to what you want to have. So on that note, it is going to be beneficial for you to supplement your demo if you did have a standard kit. And now that we're coming out with new products as well, you're going to want to make sure that you're adding a couple of those into your demo to talk about, because people, they get excited. They want to see the new stuff. So make sure that when you're choosing which products to get, that you're focusing more on stuff that's either is going to be a hot seller. Like, for example, if Coochie comes out in another scent, right? Everybody buys Coochie all day, every day, so making sure that you're at least grabbing something in the new scent for them to smell, but then also making sure that you're investing in the higher quality, higher price items, at least one or two, as your budget allows. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Right, so they can find the budget-friendly stuff in the catalog on their own. It's your job, to show them the best products. Okay, so when you're doing your demo, this is all about experience, like selling the experience, okay? So people are not gonna buy a product. They're gonna buy what the product can do for them, right? So it's not enough to be like, this is this, it has this many functions, it's rechargeable, it's waterproof, this goes in this hole and that goes over there. Okay, here, that's it, right? It's your job to really like set the stage, create the scene. And like one of my favorite like phrases to use when I'm demoing is, okay, picture this, or take a second and think about this, or imagine this, right? So I am allowing them, I'm giving them permission to kind of step into the scene and be like, okay, I'm picturing myself in this situation, using this product or having this problem, and using this product to solve that problem. So you really want to kind of lay out the scene for them and say, here is how this product is going to address that problem or that concern, or whatever. So you're telling the story, you're painting the picture for them. That make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I have my notes up in front of the camera. I didn't see that. But yeah, so there's actually a really great video on the COO. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'll have to find, there's a great video on the COO. It's one of Cindy Faulkner's demo videos. I'll have to find it. I didn't put it in my notes, but I'll look for it and I'll share it. But she shows it, she shows a whole bunch of products all like at one time. So really she's kind of like, it's like you need all of these products because you want to take them home and recreate this exact scene. You know, and you can't do that if you're not taking home all of these products. So when, you know, you're demoing the products, you want to think about that, like how can they use the products together? You know, it's not just a matter of like, you know, cross-selling, you know, people get coochie and skin therapy to go together, but it's like, how do these products really need to be together for the best results? Does that make sense?
For one girl, she wanted to get the rendezvous for her husband. And I was like, okay, when we were in the selling room, I was like, from what I've heard in my experience with this item so far, you have to get the whip to go with it and make sure you lube that outer ring, because if you don't, there's going to be some tugging, and that doesn't make them happy necessarily.
Yep.
So make sure you get that. And then she was like, yeah, sure, I'll get the whipped. And I was like, and do you have toy cleaner? And she was like, no, I don't. How about a 4-ounce toy cleaner? Okay, got it.
Nice. Yeah, and see, yeah, so that's like exactly it. It's like because like they don't know, like we're the experts, right? It's our job to know the best way to use the products together for the best, you know, for the best result, or, you know, whatever, the best experience. So yeah.
Plus the whip has dual purpose. It's not just for the rendezvous, but you can use it for the oral favors, and it's actually just a really good just base lubricant. I love it.
Yeah, so it's a really good, yeah, and so, and like, and even just like how you were telling it to me, and I feel like, because everybody has a different style, so some people are more like, whoa, like this is how you use it, high energy. Like Summer Rain, she's very much like, this is just what it is, like, you know, just use the product like this, and you need this to go together, boom, done. You know, it's just very matter of fact, very conversational. It's like, yes, I agree with this. So, and I think, you know, the way you said it now, like that could just be the way you say it. Like, this is a great base lubricant. Like it's great, but also it tastes delicious. So you're gonna want to use it for oral favors. And also, please don't circumcise your partner, you know, for a first or second time by trying to pull this ring on them and not lubing it up. I had so I got to assist Danielle Joy. She's an amazing consultant. Like, if you have the chance to ever shadow her or assist her, I like encourage you to do so because she's awesome. And so I was her assistant at her party on Friday, and she was demoing the double feature, which is the C-Ring and the Spotlight collection. So her demo, I've never seen anybody demo it this way before. So what she normally does, so she was recently in a car accident, so she only has one good arm right now while the other one is healing. So normally what she does is she'll take the C-Ring, and to demonstrate how much stretch it has, she'll put it on and put it all the way up her arm to her bicep. Okay, well, when I did this, we're both trying to like yank it on my arm, and it's not lubed up or anything, and it's like tugging and pulling and getting twisted. My arm is turning red. I'm like, this is terrible. And she's like, see, this is why you need to make sure you use lube when you are using this product. Genius. Like, just torture your assistant to get your point across that they need to use lube. But yeah, so it's, I mean, it's exactly like that. Like, you're creating the experience, you're painting the picture for them, and you're showing them that, like, if they're gonna get this product, they have to get it with this other product, because it's really like, that is gonna be, make it just spectacular. Yeah. So, but I'll find that video that Cindy Faulkner has, because it just really kind of illustrates the point that I'm trying to make. So for example, you know, Skinny Dip and, you know, all the Bath and Beauty products, like, really, they need to go together, like, because you're layering the scent. Like, yeah, sure, you can get Coochie and Body Dew, perfect, fine, whatever, but like, why wouldn't you want to get the Kiss and the Skinny Dip and the body silk, you know, just to really layer on that scent, create the collection. That way you have a product for every situation and you're going to smell awesome. You've got the pheromones. Like, it just makes sense. And you know, oh, go ahead. You look like you're going to say something.
That's my cousin. I hosted the Harry Potter party, and she got the skinny dip, and I was like, how do you like it? Because I haven't used it as a bubble bath yet. Have you used it as a bubble bath? And she's like, honestly, that's so far all I use it for, and my bathroom and practically my whole house smells amazing for like an hour afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Love it. And I was like, I use it as a shower gel, and it's fantastic. And then I was like, I have this whole beauty routine down now that I started because I'm 33 and I need to take better care of myself. I haven't done the stuff like this since I was in my 20s, and it's my time now. So I told her, I was like, I do my skinny dip, and then I use my coochie and shave, and then I come out of the shower and I do my body dew, and I put my the lotion, gosh.
The body boost or the body silk?
The body silk on my elbows, my knees, and around my ankles, and then spray myself with the Kiss, and that's how I go out on my days off. And she's like, that sounds amazing. And I was like, you know what? Host a party with me and invite all your friends, and we'll see how much of that we can get you for free. And she was like, I need to talk to my girlfriends at work. I was like, you do that.
See, you know what? Like, you have your enthusiasm, like, just the way you say, like, let's see how much of that we can get you for free. I just love it. I love it. That's awesome. But yeah, so like, that's exactly it. Like, it's the whole set. It belongs together, you know?
And I love it. That's literally my beauty regime on my days off, because I work in a grocery store and I work in the deli, so I can't have perfume and stuff on.
Right.
So I don't bother when I just shower and go to work. But tomorrow I don't work, so I actually use the skinny dip as a bubble bath tonight. And I actually put Epsom salt in it because I did a ton of yard work this weekend and my body's killing me.
Yeah.
And it smells so good, and my skin feels so nice. Even with salt in the water, my skin feels great. And so I'm going to do my body dew and all that stuff before I go to bed tonight.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So I wanted to give some examples of like sets that you could kind of put together. Now, what's really cool for the summer, Pure Romance actually kind of put together the set, like a bunch of really awesome sets for us. But now that we're going to be going into like new products in fall, I'm wondering if they're going to come out with like some fall like product bundle sets that we can kind of, like, there's a flyer and you just basically put in whatever price you want to sell it at. But so products that go together, we've got Skinny Dip, Coochie, Body Dew Kiss, Skin Therapy, and Body Boost. Like, that's all like one set, you know. Blindfold, Heartthrob, Aura or Serenity, or Serenity. You know, that's all like one set. It's one experience. Bed Bondage and Beyond, the Gray Blindfold, Tickle and Whip. Again, you know, like, that's all one set. And kind of like, so when you're thinking of your demos, like when you're trying to figure out like the best flow or what feels most natural, or, you know, the best way to kind of remember what products you're going to talk about. For me, when I was first starting out, you know, it kind of helps to think of the scene that you're trying to create, or that you're trying to help others to create, you know, and that will kind of show, you know, inform how you like talk about the products and how you're going to like bundle them together in a demo. So like, you know, for example, you know, like the set, you know, any of these sets, like the Heartthrob, the Serenity, and the Blindfold, you know, that's all one demo. That's all one set. They want to take that all home to recreate that experience, you know, when they get home with their products. So, you know, and that way it kind of helps you to think of what products you're talking about. And, you know, you just kind of group them together on your table or whatever, and you're like, okay, this is all one set. This is the experience I'm going to talk about here. You know, this is another set. This is the experience I'm going to talk about here. So, you know, the way you're showing them together is the way that they're going to be, you know, thinking of it. So when they go to, you know, shop, they're going to get those things together. All right. So a couple of, well, I guess like the phrases, so just to kind of like recap the phrases that I like to use. So I like to say, imagine this, or take a moment to think about a time when, let me ask you a question. And then the question is usually like, when was the time that you, whatever, what's it like when you do whatever? So that way they're kind of thinking about their own experience and thinking about, them and how it relates to them. But so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna find you that video. So other resources that you want to look at that kind of supplement this information and really kind of break it down even further. When you go on the COO, under the training tab, you're gonna click on all about the party, and then you're gonna click on experience selling. And so that's essentially what this is. This is experience selling. You're selling the experience, and it has all the information and like different demos you can do. And then the other one, when you're under training, all about the party, product information. So what the product information is really going to help you do is to just kind of like pick out different bullet points. So if you're not like 100% familiar with all the products yet, you can kind of pick out the information you want to highlight. They have the cue cards. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to like poke through there and see it, but like they have the cue cards, so you can just download and print them all and just have like your note cards, so you know what information to talk about. And there's no shame in reading from note cards, because so the full length order forms like that we have.
Yeah.
So with slumber parties, they actually would break them down, like all the products down into separate categories, and they had them all labeled. So like Bath and Beauty was like relax to the max, and foreplay was like heat things up or whatever. So when I was first starting and I didn't know like any of the products, I would go through each category. I would say, okay, now we're relaxed to the max, and the first item we're going to talk about in this group is coochie or whatever. So so there's no shame in reading from note cards, because then it makes your job look easy. And people are like, oh, she's reading from note cards. I can read from note cards. I want to do what she's doing. So that's going to be under the product information. And then, so videos. So if you go on the COO, they have the PRTV link. If you click on that, click on videos, and then look for Heather Pillow's live party presentation is what it's called. And you can probably search it and it would probably pull up. But it has Heather Pillow's her whole entire live party from start to finish. So if you haven't had a chance to shadow somebody else yet, or it's just your schedule's too crazy to do that, that gives you the chance to kind of shadow somebody on your own time, and she's a top consultant in the company. She's a corporate leader or corporate teacher or trainer now. So, but yeah, so her videos there. And then of course, shadowing, because that's really going to get you the chance to see different ways that people demo and talk about different products. And, even me, 4 years in business, I shadow, I assist anytime any chance I get, because I'm always looking for better ways, So do you have any questions about any of that information?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So your homework assignment for this one is going to be to watch Heather Pillow's live party on the COO and take notes. And then you're going to share your takeaways in the event or in the bootcamp group. And then schedule a party to shadow in the next 30 days. So it can be my party, it can be somebody else's party. If you need suggestions on who's a good person to shadow, just let me know. I'll give you a list of names. I'll reach out to some people that are in your area and find out who's got parties coming up that you can shadow. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's get into your question, your specific question. So trying to branch out more and talk to strangers and meet people and share your business with people who are not on Facebook. So this is
I'm goth mom.
You're goth
at the park.
mom.
I'm all in black reading Dracula while my kid is playing like Deadpool in the park. That's me.
So but there are probably
like
go ahead.
I feel like my aesthetic rubs like the suburban Lululemon moms the wrong way.
But you know, you're probably not the only mom out there who is goth mom. Like, I'm sure there has to be other moms out there like you.
I end up covered in tattoos. I'm talking to, and it's mostly the dads. So
But this is a really good question because like I've seen somebody posted recently in the group, and not our specific group, I think it was in the tribe, and they were like, you know, I've posted on Facebook and I've, you know, tried to do like online parties and I'm just like, I'm not getting anything. Like, what should I do? And the answer to that question is get off of Facebook. Like, if all you're doing is posting on Facebook and it's not bringing you any business, you need to get off Facebook. And because like our parties are so experiential, like you have to be there to experience it. You know, you have to be there to touch and taste and smell, and like that's what we do. Like the best way to meet people who want to connect with you at a party is going to be in person, right? Where you get the chance to really make that connection. So a book recommendation I have for this first is called Never Eat Alone. And that's the book I'm reading right now, and it's fabulous. It's all about like networking, but not in a way that feels weird and sneaky and, you know, like take all my business cards and buy all my stuff, right? It's a fantastic book. And then my second set of suggestions for you is going to be to like think of things. Okay, let me back up. So when you're trying to build connections with people, it truly comes down to making sincere and genuine connections and relationships, right? Nobody's going to want to do business with you if they feel like all they are to you is a dollar sign. You know, they want to know that they actually matter to you and that you actually care about them as a human being and not just as a potential transaction. So when you're thinking, you know, with that in mind, you have to think of the places where you're going to find people that are going to want to connect with you, which basically comes down to what stuff that you really enjoy doing, and then go find other people who also enjoy doing those things, and then go to where those people are, you know, enjoying those things. Because, you know, you might not book a party right there on the spot or sell something right on the spot, but 6 months down the road, you know, when they've been following you on Facebook and they see that you're, you know, throwing these really awesome parties, they're going to be like, hey, like, I would also like to have a party. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I need to make goodie bags for Ren Fair, is what you're saying.
Yes! Yes!
That's my happy place.
When are you going again?
Opening weekend. I have a whole season planned. Opening weekend is the 26th, and I've actually taken off work for the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th because school starts the 28th. So that's opening weekend, and it's kids free weekend, so we always go opening weekend. And I'm going to be a necromancer and the boys are going to be demons. And then the next weekend we're going is pirate weekend, and that's the last weekend in September, and the boys are going to be pirates. I think Tristan, my son, wants to be a ghost pirate, and cool. I'm going to be a mermaid.
Ooh.
And then the last weekend, we always do steampunk. Okay. So, and that's the weekend right before Halloween. And that's usually the weekend of Wrong. All the vendors dress in drag. It's fantastic. There's stormtroopers and kilts. Like, it's the best thing ever.
That is so. We're going. Let's see. I have it written down. We're going September 9th is when we're going.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah. So making goodie bags for Ren Fair. You know, especially so. Like, I don't know if you like tend to like meet up with other people while you're there, like it's a whole group thing for you guys, and you're like, oh, you know, every year me and my friends we meet up here, you know, that would be a great opportunity to be like, hey, haven't seen you since last Ren Fair, by the way, here's my new, you know, business endeavor that I'm doing. But also like, and so like anything that you can have a hobby in, like anything that interests you, you know, other people are probably interested in those things. So, I mean, if you find like, I don't know, like a Ren Fair costume making, group of, people who are, just really excited about making costumes for Ren Fair or swapping materials or whatever, like figure out a way to get all these people together in one place and, and just do the fun things. And as you make connections, business is going to come up. And and you're forming those connections and adding them on social media. And for me, so right now, like my big thing is tarot and tarot readings, and I'm trying to connect with people in that way and find other people that are also interested in tarot. And we're gonna be friends on Facebook, and they're gonna see that I also do pure romance, and they're gonna come to me and be like, hey, I see you do this awesome fun pure romance thing. And that's what happens. Like, that is what happens. Sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes it takes 2 months, sometimes it takes 15 months. But as long as you are focusing on the relationship first, they're going to want to to do that, to do business with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then it's less, then it's, you don't feel as much pressure to figure out like, oh, the perfect verbiage to say to some random stranger who knows nothing about you, doesn't care about you, but you're trying to, get them to let you into their home and meet all their friends. And, it's just like, but even like when you are, so like I do still go prospecting out in public, and like I will set, a day aside where I'm just going to go to the mall and I'm going to talk to strangers, and my intention is never to book a party with them on the spot, because it's just never been my strength, and I've accepted that. You have consultants like Kelly Ellis Neal, and she'll talk to her waitress for 4 seconds and sign her up to join her team with a premium tip. Like, I am not that person, and I've accepted that. I've embraced it. For me, I'm just really looking for somebody who I feel an actual connection with. Like, I feel like, they're a cool person. They get me. I get them. We should actually just be friends. I don't care if I book a party with them or not. I just really like this person. And then it usually turns into, business. So me and Stephanie Johnson, I think this was after or before you signed up. We actually went prospecting together down in Fredericksburg. And we did a video that explained like what we did and what we said and how it went. So I'll see if I can find that video in the tribe, and I'll tag you in it so you can kind of watch it and kind of get some ideas and see how that goes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. But does that answer your question? Like, does that help you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and if you're looking for like, things to do or, places to go to meet people. So do you know how to use like the really cool thing about the events tab on Facebook? Do you know like the really cool way to use it?
No.
To find events? Okay, I'm going to show you. Hang on, let me pull up my screen so I can share it with you. Oops, come on. Okay. Share screen. All right, you can see this okay?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to go to click on events. And so it's going to show up, it's going to bring you to your event page. Now, what's cool is you can actually scroll down. Oops, come on now. You can scroll down past all that. And so what you can see is events that are trending in your area. So this is events that are really popular with people that live in your area. You can see the events that are popular with your friends, so see what your friends are up to. But you can, and then it's also going to have like new events that have been recently released. And then let's see, I think that's all of the events. Okay, but see they've recently changed stuff up. Okay, here we go. I think if you click on Discover. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you want to click on Discover, and it's going to pull up all the events that are happening near you. So, and you can filter it today, tomorrow, this week, next week. You can choose a specific date. You can choose, the area. You can choose the category, So if you're like, okay, like I want to meet people who are also like really into, I don't know, gardening, you know, maybe you connect with people who garden, you know, so you can click on that and you're going to pull up all the events that have to do with gardening in your area. So that way you're like, oh, like I can go check out that event. I can go and connect with people at that event. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, you know, so you can use that to help find events and things to do in your area. You can use meetup.com. Do you know meetup.com?
No.
Oh, okay. So meetup.com, it's free to sign up. And essentially it's all events. It's all, you can join like different groups based on your interests and your hobbies. And it'll, you know, they all just plan events that you can go to connect with other people. It's like a dating site, like a group dating site, but it's not for dating. I mean, I'm sure some people use it that way, but it's actually for just meeting people in your area. You know, like I found a writers group that way when I first moved here, and one of the girls, you know, I'm still friends with the girl almost 2 years later, and you know, she's gonna be doing my flash sale. She wants to book a party with me, you know. So so there's that. I'm trying to think. Oh, and the other thing too, so Facebook can be a useful tool if you're trying to make connections. Are you in any groups on Facebook besides our consultant groups?
Yeah, I'm in like I'm in a couple of costume groups and a group where it's called Rag Book, and basically women complain about their periods.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's all. It's literally like 800 posts every day of my period happened unexpectedly, or my period's late, or my period's heavy, or I'm PMSing like crazy, or can someone please bring me a chocolate cake? That's all day long.
That is, I swear, there's like groups for literally everything on Facebook. It's just crazy. That's a good group. That's okay. So here's the thing. So you can friend people in these groups. Like these, you can still form connections with these people. For me, so like some of the groups I'm in, so I'm in my tarot group, obviously. I'm in a FAM group, so which is Fertility Awareness Method. So I was in, you know, the FAM group for, you know, using it as birth control to not get pregnant. Well, now that we're trying to get pregnant, you know, I'm in the sister group. And so, you know, we're all having conversations. We're all helping each other out. Chart interpretation, you know, do you see a line on this, you know, and so we're having conversations. And anytime I have like an exchange of like 4 or 5 comments with somebody, we're friends now. We're friends now. I send them a friend request. They accept it. Boom, done. Now we're on Facebook together. So you can make connections with people. So again, it's just, it's like you're collecting friends, which it sounds kind of shady, but it's really not. Like I mean, don't send a friend request to somebody that you really don't feel like a connection with, because they're going to feel that they're just going to take themselves off, like whatever. But like somebody you actually have a good conversation with, send them a friend request. It's okay. You know, and again, they're going to see your pure romance posts. You know, you're going to send them a message when their birthday comes up and offer them, you know, $10, you know, off to spend because it's their birthday. Whatever, you know, it's just, you know, so you're making connections. You know, it's a little bit easier than trying to get out, you know, and to events. You know, if you're having a hard time getting out there. That and yeah, so making friends in your groups. So just, and just like making sure that you're actually participating in your groups. So, you know, if you're not already like an active commenter or an active poster, start posting and commenting, because people are going to start to know you. And the more they know you, the more they trust you. And it'll be easier to you know, start sending friend requests that way. Or they might start sending you friend requests.
Yeah.
But like that period group, you can make like so many, I mean, you know, oh, feeling a little bit dry? You should try this lubricant. It's really great. You know, like, oh, there's so much you can do in there. That's awesome.
I posted the video that I made about the hot heart, and I was like, when I got really bad cramps last week, and I was so glad that I had this in my purse because I'm sitting, and it was absolutely miserable. and I had this with me. And some people really liked it, and then other people like completely blasted me about, what is this? Is it a commercial? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm just letting you guys know what I use, okay? Just calm the hell down.
Right, yeah. And I mean, there's always going to be those people who are like, no. But I think if you approach it from a place of like sincerity, you know, in a place of, you know, I really am just showing you this is what I use. Like, yes, I also happen to sell it, but I sell it because it's something I use, you know, then I think people will really, they connect with that. They respond to that, you know. I had a girl in one of my, actually in my fam group, she was talking about Benoit balls, and I commented something, and I was like, you know, oh, that's so, like, 'cause she could like hold them in all day or whatever. And I'm like, that's so amazing. Like, I wish I had that sort of pelvic floor strength. And she was like, you should totally try them. And she linked me to the Amazon. I was like, oh no, like I totally know, like I sell them. You know, we have these other ones that are really great, the exercise her. Yeah. And she was like, oh man, I might need to get some more. Can you send me a message with the information? Like, sure, and I'll send you a friend request. Like, you know, just by participating in a conversation. You know, I wasn't trying to sell anything really. You know, I was just letting her know we're having a conversation. So yeah. Again, if you approach it that way, people will just be mad about what they want to be mad about. But I think most of the time, you won't strike a wrong chord. You know, doing that way. Okay. And it's the same, you know, when you're out going to events and stuff. You know, if you're having conversations, it's not like, oh, and also I sell pure romance. Would you like to go to the party? You know, it's just, yeah, it comes up. You're talking about your job. They're talking about their job. You just happen to be able to give away free stuff with yours. So, but does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So do you have any other questions or anything else relating to that you want direction with?
I'm good.
All right, cool. So, well, that ends our new consultant bootcamp training for this week. I'm going to go ahead and upload this and post it. So if you want to rewatch it, and then the homework assignment was to watch Heather Pillow's live party on the COO. Take some notes, share your notes, and then see who you can shadow in the next 30 days or so. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so if you need me, have any questions or anything like that, message me, text me, call me, Facebook me, whatever. And yeah, that's all I got. So,
alrighty.
All right, thank you for jumping on. I'll let you get back to your evening. Bye.
Bye.